you arrived in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining.
You're very kind, my lady.
Of course, Mira, but you must not despair. We will get through this together. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen. To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for Robb Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least afford. Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the Royal Sept. She mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor. She was very pleased with herself.
Ich bin kein Verräter.
I'm not a traitor.
Of course not. It's only an excuse to torment you, and by extension, me. She demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort, for what I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important. I cannot afford any conflict with Cersei with the wedding so near.
I cannot apologize, my lady. I'm not a traitor.
I know you're not, but you must find a way to appease her. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear.
So, anscheinend müssen wir jetzt mit der Königin Regentin
See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive
sprechen.
us.
Cersei.
You'll be fine. I know you will. You may feel one thing, but you must say another. Good luck.
So. Dann müssen wir jetzt viel Mut haben, da reinzukommen. Da reinzukommen eigentlich. Das zu überstehen. Und sorry für den kleinen Break vorhin. Das ist heute ein neuer Aufnahmetag.
You can do this.
Oh, dort hinten sehen wir den Gnom, oder Tyrion Lannister. Und die Königin Regentin, das Biest, Cersei. Die zwei Geschwister.
Ah, Lady Marjorie. Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Lord Tyrion. Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forrester.
So, wir knien uns nieder.
Your Grace.
The girl knows her courtesies. Impressive. You may rise.
House Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
But he's not here, is he?
Ich glaube, wir müssen Joffrey nehmen.
Joffrey
Leider.
is the one true king, Your Grace.
And yet, for centuries the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Yes, Your Grace. They are traitors.
Wir müssen das sagen.
The Starks were your liege lord, yet you name them traitors so easily. I take it this is the kind of loyalty the king can expect from you. If you have any loyalty at all. Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Hier ist der neue
He is
Wächter.
the Warden of the North, Your Grace.
He is. And I the Queen Regent and Tyrion the Master of Coin.
The girl has a remarkable talent for answering questions while in fact saying nothing at all.
Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Our talent is unrivaled, Your Grace. Forrester Ironwood is highly sought after in the Seven Kingdoms.
So I'm told. It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Yes, Your Grace. I would do anything.
I see.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the wall? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I'm sure she regrets it.
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let
would...
the girl answer the
Oh
question.
je, jetzt müssen wir sagen, sind wir loyal zu Marjorie oder loyal zu King? Aber ich glaube, wir müssen leider das
Well
sagen.
said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she?
Weil, na,
The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
es könnte unter den Kopf kotzen.
My sense is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants. Which is not very encouraging. I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
Thank you, Lord Tyrion. That's very kind of you to say.
That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining. No doubt Lady Marjorie will forgive you. Eventually. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The Crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the Crown in this regard. Not her.
You can help my family.
I suppose the Crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous.
It's
Ja.
a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you? I'll consider it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight.
Sansa
3
aus dem Haus
beautiful bottles
Stark.
of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere
Ich hoffe,
thought of them makes me
wir
thirsty
treffen uns
already.
noch mal.
I hope we meet again.
Nothing would make Cersei happier. Until then, be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Ja. Das ist nicht der Norden. Und wir können hier in Killingsmund niemandem vertrauen, wie wir ja auch in der Serie wissen. Und das mit Cersei gerade war ein bisschen erdrückend, glaube ich, für Mira. Denn wir
Mira, I was
müssen uns immer
worried.
entscheiden, wenn wir die Loyalität schenken, sondern...
Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing.
It went well.
Really? That's a relief. Cersei is known for being rather difficult. Lady Marjorie has spent the entire day working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons. Ah, Sir Jaime. I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his.
Sarah!
What? It's true. And Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour.
He is quite handsome.
And quite passionate, from what I've heard. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our future husbands. Although, marrying a king, I can only imagine what that would be like. Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen? He does have a certain look about him.
Nein,
And he's always treated
ich würde
Lady
nicht
Marjorie
Joffrey
well.
heiraten.
I'd be willing to marry, but not Joffrey.
Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. I might even allow you to be my handmaiden. Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister. What a perfect match! Sir Bronn and...
What are you doing? Well,
I'm sorry, my lady.
As am I. We shouldn't have been messing about.
this is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was pleased by your display, Mira. I'm just glad it's over. King's Landing can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
Once they know your true heart, the lords and ladies will have no choice but to love you.
Do you agree?
It doesn't matter what you feel. It only matters what you say.
You learn very quickly. Your words to Cersei were brave, but I know you must fear what the Boltons might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important.
Oh je, sollen wir jetzt fragen? Oder ich... Nein, wir haben ja
My
schon
mother
Tyrion
wanted me to
gefragt.
ask a favor of you. For my family. But as you said, you're in a delicate position now with the wedding so near.
Denn
And
wir
I
haben
would
schon
never want to
Tyrion
jeopardize that.
Lannister schon gefragt, ob er uns helfen
Soon
wird.
I will be queen.
Können nicht jeden fragen.
And maybe then I'll be in a better position to help you. But for now we must both be cautious.
My family is strong, my lady. Don't let it trouble you. I know they will find a way to prevail.
Ja, dann sag ich mal, sehen wir uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Und ja, tschüss.